Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the CHOFETZ CHAIM, speaking about the idea of apit lasa, the seemingly permissibility to say over lashon hara in front of three people. But he writes like this: "V'da'od, you should know further. The kol heter the apit lasa hu mitzad ha'omer. The only heter, the only leniency over here of apit lasa, of saying over in front of three people, is when the original speaker is saying over in front of three people. However, if Levi, let's say, is one of the three people that heard it in the beginning, wants to go over and tell it to somebody else right now, but he knows that the person he's going to be speaking to, their nature is the minute that they hear these words of lashon hara, so to speak, they'll believe it 100% what they hear. And they will even add perhaps maybe more derogatory comments about Shimon that this lashon hara is being spoken about. To such a person who is easily going to accept the words that you're saying, you cannot even give the slightest hint of negative information to him about someone else. And if you do, if Levi, the person who's going and telling it over, says such a thing, he transgresses the prohibition of you should not put a stumbling block in front of a blind person. Like we explained earlier on, Ayin Sham, you'll take a look over there. And that is because since I know that this person that I'm saying over the lashon hara in front of is going to accept it. He's not allowed to accept it, but he's going to, and he's maybe going to go and tell it over to others and embellish. So I just put a stumbling block in front of this blind man. Everything we wrote over here that is prohibited. That's even if you don't even mention where you heard the words from originally. For example, Levi was one of the three people that was listening to Reuven speak badly about Shimon. And even if Levi would not mention that he heard it from Shimon, and even if all he says is, I happen to hear this negative information about Shimon, I feel even if he never mentioned Reuven by name, it's still going to be asr. And therefore, says the CHOFETZ CHAIM, the achrei kol hadavarim, after all these words, and we clarified the truth for you. Re'ei achi, my brother, I want you to take a look and see. You have to stay away from this leniency of the apet lasa, of saying it in front of three people. It's almost impossible that the case will ever apply. And even if you'll be able to add up all of the conditions in order to find a heter or leniency, you still have to examine and figure out if the halacha is actually according to this opinion. It's really, he says, one opinion, the opinion of the Rambam, who learns it like this. According to most of the halachic authorities, there really is no true source in Shas, in the Talmud, for such a leniency. I wrote at the end of the fourth sif, the fourth piece of this. Therefore, someone who really guards his spirituality and his nefesh and his soul should distance himself on all accounts and not repeat over lashon hara, negative information, in front of three people. I was like, even if it was heard in front of three people, don't go and bring it to somebody else, because that, according to most poskim, to most halacha authorities, is going to be a problem. And on top of that, says the CHOFETZ CHAIM, the chances that you will fulfill all the conditions are slim to none. So the CHOFETZ CHAIM is bringing it down in his sefer as a limud, as for us to learn, to know that it exists. But at the end of the day, says the CHOFETZ CHAIM, it's almost impossible that you'll ever be able to fill this leniency in the right way. So when in doubt, do it out. Have a wonderful day.